Oh, I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. Cheers everyone for watching. My name is Mitchell. This is the Stereo Picture Society. This is a show and channel where I review Canadian albums. And today we're going to be reviewing Great Lake Swimmers' new album, The Waves, The Wake. Out of all the albums that I've reviewed thus far, Great Lake Swimmers have been around the longest. They were formed in 2003 in Wainfleet, Ontario, by a dude named Tony Dekker, and this is their 7th album. Earlier in their catalog, you'll see a lot of straight-to-tape recordings, pretty much Tony and acoustic guitar, with an increasing amount of instrumentation as they progress through their career. 2009 saw them arguably at their peak when their 4th album was shortlisted for a Polaris Music Prize. And throughout the last decade, they've progressed from being a singer-songwriter's project to a mainstream-ish folk rock band, to the point now where they're being called adult alternative by CBC, which I think is an oxymoron by itself. But what can you do? They're adult, they used to be alternative, and they're to the point now where they're pretty comfortable being in their mid-30s to 40s and making music. This comfort is pretty evident on everything you get on The Waves, The Wake. Tony does try to dismantle this comfort by pulling a John Darnielle and not playing acoustic guitar on this record, which for any Great Lake Swimmers fans, you know that the acoustic guitar is the main instrument in everything you hear on the records. There's hardly a song I can name on the last 6 albums that didn't feature an acoustic guitar. So that should justify being an interesting record to listen to. This opens up a lot of experimentation possibilities for the Swimmers to work with. The record opens up with the song The Talking Wind, which features some great clarinets and flutes, some cool chord progression going on throughout it, and some calm arrangements. A couple tracks feature banjo and shakers and auxiliary percussion such as root systems and In a Certain Light. The song Holding Nothing Back later in the track list is pretty much based in marimba. The track The Real Work is based in piano with some deep cellos. And the song Falling Apart, which is based on harp, appealed to me the most out of the 12 tracks on here. But then for some of the tracks on here, Tony swaps the acoustic guitar for an electric guitar. Songs like Side Effects, Alone But Not Alone, and Mouth of Flames. But for this record, the experimentation only stops at the instrumentation choices. It doesn't go into the songwriting, it doesn't get into the vocal performances, which was the most crippling factor of this record for me. Especially the vocal performance from Tony Dekker really comes off as lazy. It sounds like they're working at maybe 40% maximum energy. Barely any of the songs on this record have any character to them and revolve around a certain message that's trying to get across. It being a Great Lake Swimmers record, we can expect to have a lot of lyrics revolving around nature, and when they were working at their best, a good helping of poetry as well. But again, it's pretty lazy. It's nothing cool or anything worth talking about, really. In a Certain Light has a bit of an edge towards phone criticism, for instance. A single frame passing on a screen. These are my hands and this is what I mean. Hiding there in plain sight, I see you in a certain light. During the last third of the album is where the lyrics really get too comfortable, too lazy, and we really start to see the spots in the lyric writing where the words just seem redundant. For a song about a house burning down, Mouth of Flames has some of the laziest writing in it. I took what I could from the deafening blaze, but I can only take so much. The things that I lost, I will always remember. The things that I lost, I will never forget. And on this song, Dekker really sounds like an uninspired Win Butler. And speaking of Win Butler, the final song on here, The Open Sea, which, by the way, like, they've been around for 7 albums now and they finally write a song called The Open Sea. This song is pretty much a 6.5 minute, lazy, no cars go, with 2 chords in it, that's based around the sea instead of dreaming. This is the most thematic the album gets, the rest of which are pretty vague lyrics. Any lyric section from these songs could be swapped into another and we wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Aside from that bothering me the most, the production also bothered me on this record. I'm fine with albums having a whole bunch of reverb coated over it, but I think this album went too far with it. Because if it's anything defining the mood on this record, it's the reverb coating all the instruments on it. The reverb is the most consistent part of the record. I think my biggest takeaway on this album is that the Great Lake Swimmers are too comfortable with how things are in their lives and as a band. There's nothing that the band is coming to terms with, and there's nothing that the band really has to be saying on here. Because if there was any pain or suffering or thoughts going on, Tim would have been writing about it. The Great Lake Swimmers used to put out some clever and interesting work and used to sound as if they had something to prove. But the only thing that they're proving is that they don't work as a band on this album. I wouldn't be surprised if Dekker had actually produced this on his own. I'm hoping for the next time that I hear the Great Lake Swimmers, they have something pushing them to come from this experimental period that they're in and to return to form, to boost the way that they write songs, and come through with some relevant, interesting, characterized and topical work. And hopefully next time I can see some charisma and pride in what they're working in. So out of my handy dandy enjoyment chart, I'm giving The Waves the Wake a meh. I'm upset with this record and I don't think I'll listen to it again. If you're a Great Lake Swimmers fan and I just shit on your parade, what did you think of what I had to say? Did you agree with something that I had to say? Did you disagree with all of it? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed hearing what I had to say, make sure you like and share and subscribe. Some of the links that you can follow me at are down below. And again, cheers for watching the video. My name has been Mitchell. Be here, be queer, stay strong, and listen on. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.